Let's talk about the season 2 finale of Percy Jackson. First of all, absolute blast of an episode from start to finish. Awesome. Loved it. Also, peep my cabin 3 flag in the background in my office. I don't care what quiz here on TikTok says. I belong in cabin 3. Anyway, I loved it. I loved it. What I didn't love, however, is now we have to wait a while until season 3. But on the same hand, it has been officially announced that season 3 will be premiering later this year, 2026. So no more of this waiting 2 years between each season, hopefully. Right? Like, I'm really glad that Disney is like really like it's finally clocked in that like they need to keep this ball rolling. This momentum needs to keep going. And I think it really only made sense between seasons 1 and 2 because like right after season 1, yeah, we got the green light for season 2, but I think they really needed to hammer in like, okay, what worked, what didn't work, what can we improve, that sort of stuff. On top of the fact that like, yeah, pre-production, actual production, and post-production, that stuff takes time. Because like typically each season gets filmed over the course of like 5 or 6 months, and then, you know, a long time of post-op. Like, I think I remember correctly, season 2 finished filming last February, and then obviously like 10 months later we got the season 2 premiere. But like, I think season 3 is slated to finish filming in the next couple weeks, which, you know, that's awesome. But it's also really awesome the fact that they got us like an official first look and not just like, oh, this is some like raw footage or like whatever. Like, this is the end product. Like, this is what it's going to look like. But moving back to season 2, again, I loved it. It was awesome, and I think one of the big standout moments for me, besides, you know, elephant in the room, Thalio's return, for me it was when Percy's dreaming, like right after Thalia hits him with lightning, and he's dreaming and he sees not only his dad, but he sees Tyson. So like all three of them are like sharing that dream, and it's just really heartwarming when Tyson was talking about his past and how, you know, life was really hard for him, and he asked the gods for them to send help. And I love his line of, they didn't just send me a friend, they sent me a brother. But speaking of Thalia's return, let's talk about the major change from the books. So originally, this is how it follows in the books, and it's also how we get told, the audience, both in season 1 but also episodes throughout this season, that Thalia sacrificed herself willingly to save her friends, and that Zeus did take pity on her, changed her into the tree that created the magic barrier. However, season finale reveals that it was not the case, that Hades himself sent the Furies with a message to Thalia of like, hey, like, your dad only cares about you as a tool. Like, he doesn't actually care about you, he just cares about what you could possibly become. And like, Zeus himself pops down from Olympus and tells her like, no, you're gonna do what I tell you, you're gonna be who I want you to be, which kind of harkens back to Sally's back in season 1, where she's talking to Poseidon, like when Percy's younger, and she's talking to Poseidon, and she says, I want him to figure out who he is before your family tells him who he should be. Like, actually let these heroes figure out who they are on their own, rather than become something that the Olympians want them to be as a means to an end, just as a tool. And like, yes, this is a massive change from the book, but I think once again, I think it's a good change because it's showing, once again, this whole message of the gods, like 9 times out of 10, they genuinely, sorry for the vulgar language, could not give a shit less about their kids sometimes. Not sometimes, a lot of the times. And like, the few times that they do care, it really is still just out of selfishness. Like, they're doing it because it's to save their own skin, or it's because they personally can't do it, so they need somebody else who can. Like, for instance, when Ares lost his shield on the Tunnel of Love with Aphrodite, like, he directly couldn't do it, so he had the demigods do it for him. Now, I can't remember the actress's name that plays Thalia. Uh, for the life of me, and it sucks because I think she's gonna be really great, and she has been great in like the flashbacks that we've seen, and then obviously in the season finale. The only thing I don't like about Thalia in this is that she's British. I don't like her accent. That's it. That's all I got. My only complaint about Thalia. But I also really loved when Thalia comes bursting into the big house and she's immediately like, "Where's Annabeth?" Like, like essentially like her little sister that she never had. And so, like, it was really heartwarming to see their reunion. And then immediately, she and Percy start just like staring swords at each other. I don't want to say daggers. They're staring swords at each other like could cut the tension with a knife. Very specific knife. Speaking of that knife, we heard like 60% of the Great Prophecy, which is another change from the books. We don't get the full prophecy until like the beginning of book 5. Like the first 4 books are just hyping up this prophecy, like just constantly talking about it, like just how scared like the Olympians are about the possibilities that potentially Percy or Thalia or Nico or Bianca, any of these children of the big 3 could potentially just end it all, like wipe everything off the map, start over, let the Titans take over. But I like this change. I like that they're actually talking about it. I like that Percy knows about it more than just, oh, there's some prophecy about me. Don't know exactly what, but like he actually has heard some of the lines from the prophecy. Now, whether or not he believes them, still a bit of a mystery. Like he hasn't like fully come to terms of like, do I actually believe what Cronus is telling me, or is this all just a lie? Sorry, my mic died. It's okay. So I think, when we get to the end of season 3 and we find out that Nico and Bianca were children of Hades, I think it's going to throw in another layer of conflict for Percy because like during book 3, like Thalia is 15, like she is on the cusp of turning 16, which is what the prophecy states of one, like a child of the eldest gods. When they reach 16, when they turn 16, they will make a choice, and it will either save the world or it will end it. And so by doing so, like with this essentially like time deadline constantly hanging over everyone's head, at like the meeting of the gods, kind of at the end of the book, like they're all kind of discussing like, okay, what do we do? Like Thalia's literally about to turn 16, Percy's getting there, like some of the gods like are even advocating like we should just kill them and avoid this world-ending catastrophe. And of course Poseidon and Zeus are both like, you're not touching my fucking kids. And that's when Artemis steps up. She talks to Zeus privately and then offers Thalia to join the hunters, so that and in doing so, like when you join the hunters, like you become immortal provided you don't die in battle. And so Thalia takes this opportunity, joins the hunters, becomes immortal, stops aging, so she's 15 forever, provided she doesn't like die during combat or anything. And kind of puts all this pressure back on Percy of like, oh yeah, you are going to be the kid of the prophecy. And then another wrench in the plans when it's discovered that Nico is now the next child of the big 3, and like everyone's like, another one? Are you serious? So yeah, I'm really excited for season 3. I'm glad Disney is like really hammering down on we need to get seasons like I think I saw something that season 4 will start filming later this year, so potentially getting season 4 like next year, 2027, which would be dope. So Disney, if you're watching this. But yeah, overall really solid end to the second season. Season overall was really awesome. I had a few nitpicks, but they weren't like anything major. But yeah, overall, I absolutely love this season. I am hyped as all Hades for season 3. So those are my thoughts. Cabin 3 out.